Hey Nerdables and YouTube viewers, you have tuned in to Jaina Solo Says, a series of nerdy segments where we talk about whatever we feel like, as in we, as in me. And this week we're going to be talking about The Hobbit now that I've seen it. I talked a couple weeks ago about what we should expect and who's going to be in it and what are their plans. And now that I've seen it, we're going to talk about logistical, how was it and what did I like and didn't like. And before we get to that, I have a quick shout out to Wayward Pirate Productions. Arr. Arr, arr, arr. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, to business. The Hobbit. If I had to give it like a letter grade, let's start with that, on like an A through F basis, I would give it probably a B, B+. It had a lot of good things about it, but it did have some pitfalls in it that need to be addressed. So let's start with those. I think that the first thing it didn't do quite right was that it fell into a pit that a lot of CG movies fall into, which is they overuse the CG. It's supposed to be a tool, people. It's not supposed to be the whole movie. It's not about, if you wanted just pretty visuals, you know, go see a painting, which I like paintings, but that's not what this movie's supposed to be about. We go to see movies because we want to see a journey, and we want to get in, you know, touch with these characters and their lives, and there was just not enough, there was a lot of characters, and not enough time, I think, spent on each of them to really get into the story. And so I think the movie suffered a little bit because of that. Also, I think that Peter Jackson, I don't know if he should have said yes to the 3 movies thing. I think if he had been forced to condense the stories into 2 movies, it might have worked out better. They might have not relied so much on CG. They might have been forced to bare bone down the story to the really important stuff. And instead, I think that they're drawing things out. And it doesn't mean the movie's boring. It just means that you feel, I don't know, a sense of what's going on. You know, like, at certain points you're like, okay, that's cool, whatever. Okay, but good things. Martin Freeman as Bilbo was amazing. I'm really glad they got him. Of course, Gandalf being back was amazing. Radagast, we get to see another wizard, which is kind of cool. He's Radagast the Brown, very naturally, and pretty kind of cool guy. We get to see Saruman when he's not evil yet. That's kind of cool. Galadriel, Elrond, these people make a reappearance. Arwen doesn't, though. I'm like, if you see Elrond at Rivendell, why didn't you see his daughter? She off doing ranger business? Like, I don't understand. So that was a little weird. But still, good to see these characters returning. There's this one part where one of the dwarves, like, is fighting and he hits someone with his belly. I thought that was hilarious. And then my favorite thing, well, actually, no. First, also, it was really cool when at the beginning of the story is actually the start of the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring, where they're getting ready for Bilbo's 111th birthday, I think. And you see Elijah Wood, Frodo, he's there, and Bilbo's getting his stuff together and writing something, and you see bits of that in the Fellowship of the Ring. And so it's like, hey, the story of Bilbo is being told in flashback as Bilbo writes out the story. So I thought that was a really cool device they used, and I was really like, yay! And you could see Frodo, and he's like, I'm gonna go wait for Gandalf up in the field. Like, you see him first in the Fellowship, so that's awesome. Excuse me as I choke on my spit. Another thing I really liked that Peter Jackson did do correctly, in a really big story like this, where there's so much grandiose stuff happening, good and evil and big battles and the fate of mankind, it's the little things that really touch people. There are some very small moments in this movie that are just really awesome. There's this one where Gandalf is talking to Galadriel and she's asking him why he chose Bilbo, a hobbit, to join these dwarves on their quest to get their homeland back, and he says, you know, for him, he gets scared, and it's the small things that keep away the darkness, he thinks, and that Bilbo makes him feel courageous, you know. And I just thought that was really great. Like, it, you know, it's these small moments that really matter. And there's one part where they're telling about Thorin's background, how he became king of the dwarves, and how what happened to his dad and his grandfather. And it's those small moments of community and delving into people's real emotions that it's important. And without those moments, the movie would be even more superficial, and we wouldn't like it. But it was good on the whole. Hopefully it'll get better. They're probably just a little rusty. Lord of the Rings is a very specific kind of movie series that there's not really anything comparable to it, so I think they're just trying to get back in the groove. Hopefully they will do that. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week on Jaina Solo Says. Bye.